Welcome to episode 2 of my No Man's Sky realistic building tutorial. First thing we're going to do is expand the structure from the first episode to allow more room for building. This is a good opportunity to practice our skills and techniques that we learned in episode 1. Let's use the other window variety for this part of the wall. As this first section covers techniques learned in episode 1, I'm going to move a little bit quicker through it. The stone flooring panels give the appearance of sleek tiled floor when you use the gray and red color scheme. This section of room will eventually be our kitchen. We're going to fill in this section by rotating a wall segment vertical, and then using snap placement on either side. I know aligning things in free placement can be a bit of a pain, and it takes a bit of trial and error to sort of figure out what works and what doesn't. One of the great things about making these videos is that I end up learning new techniques along the way. I realized that these wall sections would look better as longer segments instead of two smaller ones. And now we have a great starting point to start building our ceiling and other additions. First off, let's start building a vaulted ceiling over the living room area. This piece is going to give the illusion of an upper window section. The two half-wall sections allow us to snap this piece as a guideline for our next step. In this next section, we'll be creating exposed wooden beams in our vaulted ceiling. It's going to be a little bit tricky to align everything, and a bit of patience is required to get everything just right. We're using these triangle sections as a guide to help align our pieces so they're straight. Don't be discouraged when trying to align things in free placement. This video is edited, and it took me a lot of trial and error to get things how I like them in this build. Now, we're going to turn on snap placement and build the rest of our beams. This will also help us determine whether or not we align things correctly. I find snap placement great for checking my angles, especially after some difficult free building. We're going to use a little trickery with two half-wall sections to help us snap place a long wall section on the outside of the building. Now we have created two separate layers that we can snap to on the upper section of the build. By using the duplicate function on this section of the beam, we only have to rotate it in one direction to try and get it to match on the other side. Remember, there's no such thing as a perfect placement in free build in No Man's Sky. We're just trying to get things as close as possible. Don't worry, that's the most difficult section of this tutorial. Now, it's just a matter of selecting the materials for the interior and exterior of your roof. I went with the concrete panel for the interior and the wooden panel for the exterior. Our building is really starting to take shape, and those exposed beams in the vaulted ceiling look great. Let's go ahead and create a drop ceiling in this section of the building. Everything should be laid out that you can use snap placement for all the pieces in this section. Next, I'm going to teach you a glitch that allows you to resize objects that aren't normally scalable. First, you need to use an object that is scalable. I like using the small box just because it's easy to work with. We want to shrink this down because we're going to use the glitch to make the item smaller, but it also works in both directions. You can use it to make things larger as well. Let's go ahead and select the item that we want to scale down. Now we're going to press X and Y simultaneously on the controller. Now go ahead and pick up the part that we scaled down and press Y and right trigger at the same time, and that'll now place a smaller version of the unscalable object. Right now we're going to be using this glitch to size down all our electrical components and hide them from view in the roof. If you're on PlayStation, you'll be pressing square and triangle simultaneously, and then when to place the object, you'll be pressing triangle and the right trigger button. And now we can use duplicate item to make as many copies of these scaled down objects as we like. Pressing the buttons on the controller at the right time takes some getting used to, so don't be discouraged if this glitch doesn't work for you the first time. Incorporating the resizing glitch into your builds opens up a whole world of possibilities and allows you to create really unique and interesting details that you wouldn't be able to before. Now we're going to finish off and enclose this section of the roof. Let's go ahead and place a few lights to help illuminate and show off our vaulted ceiling. Now this is really starting to look like a place that I'd want to live in. Now, structurally, this ceiling wouldn't be able to support itself on its own, so we're going to go ahead and add a support wall and some beams on the lower section of the ceiling. We're going to use a combination of free placement, snap placement, and a little bit of luck to get everything to align correctly. Now we're going to use the simple desk as our kitchen countertops and flush out the whole kitchen area. The green highlight on items makes it a little hard to see where you're aligning them when you're trying to get things just perfect, so I'll go into the color menu and it makes it a little easier to see where everything is. We're going to use the worktop for our kitchen cabinets, and we're going to shrink it down so it sits just underneath our kitchen countertops. Now let's go ahead and fill out the rest of our kitchen cabinets. I like using the wall fan to fill out large areas because the back of it is just a flat surface and it can be any color that you choose. The trick to getting these to align perfectly is once you have one in place, just carefully tap left or right on the joystick and they should fit into place. Now let's go ahead and fill out the backs of our countertops that are visible. I love finding objects in the build menu that you can use to look like other things. And right now we're going to use this insulated flask as our cupboard handles. Once you shrink down the insulated flask, it fits perfectly in this little groove on the doors of the worktop. Now let's go ahead and fill in all those cupboard handles. We're going to use the wall fan again to build up the backs of our upper cabinets. Once you add a couple of details to them, the storage panels make great upper cabinets. We're going to use the white border decal to add a little bit of a backsplash behind the cabinets. The decals and posters are really great for adding details to your builds, and I'll cover them in a later video. Let's go ahead and add a couple of lights to the bottom of the cabinets. We're going to go ahead and use the stone trough and vintage tap to make a little kitchen sink by the window here. We'll use the white border decal to give our sink just a little bit more detail. And that's everything we're going to cover in this video. We went through a lot of challenging techniques and free placement ideas, and I want you to give yourselves all a pat on the back for coming this far. These builds take a lot of time and patience, but I'm confident that with these skills, you're all going to go out and create something very amazing. I would absolutely love to see all your cool and interesting builds, so leave a link in the comments and show me what you've been working on. Next video, we're going to flush out and finish the kitchen, do some decorating and interior design in the living room, and I'll run you through some advanced lighting techniques. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you'll never miss a video. This is Roaming Space Cat signing off, and I'll see you all next time.